is a tree business and they're burning green wood, which is violation of EPA rules, we have no way to stop it. So the current ordinance is very limited in scope on what the fire department can do, what you're burning in your yard. So this was adopted, or we brought this in. Actually, this is a Jackson ordinance that we adopted, and the fire chief went through it, said it's very comprehensive. It probably is what we need. We've had problems with this fellow before, and this is one way to address it.
This still is okay with like fire pits, things like that?
Yeah, you can do fire pits, but this addresses you can't.
Rubbish.
Well, we did have last fall a landlord that remodeled his house was burning his cabinets and everything else and saying, well, it's a fire pit. Well, you can't do that in this ordinance. You absolutely can do fire pits and things like that. I mean, people theoretically could be burning leaves now. They can be burning about anything they want. We don't need that in the city. So,
Probably should make sure you guys read that
yeah,
before you vote on it.
read through it. This does not have to be an emergency. You can read. You couldn't do it anyway, but read through it. The old ordinance is online too if you want to do a comparison.
Okay.
Did you get a sponsor?
Yes. That's some sponsor. First reading of ordinance number 2020-47, an ordinance by the City of Wellston Legislative Authority amending Chapter 93 of the Wellston Code, nuisances. Any questions, guys? Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, this came out of Councilman Browning's committee, and it's basically a noise ordinance. We did not have one. And the only thing that addressed noise in the city before was barking dogs. So you could play your stereo as loud as you wanted. You could have his party as loud as you wanted. You could have cars as loud as you wanted, and we couldn't do anything about it. So this came out of their committee. I think Rick was on that committee as well. So they approved it, and we brought it to council for consideration. It does not have to be an emergency, so you don't have 4 people anyway, so you can read through it. And
I thought that the present one says unless it is causing a disturbance. I think the ones, I mean, it's not like we don't have anything on the books. It just doesn't spell it out.
Right.
Right.
That's why we changed it.
Good.
Can you sponsor?
Yes.
Okay.
Sponsor?
Sure.
Go ahead.
You have plenty of time. Okay.
First reading of resolution number 2020-48. A resolution approving additional appropriations in the sales tax improvement in North Water capital funds and declaring an emergency. We can't do that. So, any questions?
No. Yeah.
You have a question? Sponsor, okay.
Okay. We met with the finance committee before last council meeting. We talked about the usage of carryover from sales tax and some of the equipment needs we have, and these address those sales needs. This is for a F-250 pickup truck and an F-350 dually box truck to replace deteriorating equipment we have. I can get you what we're replacing if you would like. And it's also for a backhoe. What we're doing is we are taking our carryover out of our sales tax and buying equipment needs that's been put off for a while.
Mm-hmm. Those were, in, I believe, in the 5-year plan that we had.
They were.
And they just weren't purchased.
Okay, so now we're planning on purchasing. The reason why I asked this to be an emergency, which we can't do it, is the state procurement deadline is October 31st. And if you're familiar with purchasing from the state, you get a large discount. We're saving $75,000 by buying these 3 things through the state as opposed to going to a dealer. The deadline's October 31st. Hopefully we'll have enough folks here next meeting to do emergency. If not, I'm going to ask for a special meeting so we can get these in. We don't want to, $75,000 will buy us another piece of equipment. So,
Right.
Jeff and Jeffrey did the research on this, and for example, the F-250, it's a brand new 3/4 ton Ford pickup truck. We're getting for $36,000. Reichert has one that's a year old with mid-level mileage on it for $37,000. So you're getting a brand new pickup for a used pickup price. So that explains that.
Any questions, guys?
First reading of ordinance number 2020-49, an ordinance by the Council of Wellston, Ohio to purchase one backhoe through cooperative purchasing for an amount not to exceed $115,000.
That's the back.
That's the back.
Any questions?
Woolen will sponsor.
Okay.
All right. First reading of ordinance number 2020-50, an ordinance by the Council of Wellston, Ohio to purchase one Ford F-250 through cooperative purchasing for an amount not to exceed $38,000. There's the F-250.
The reason the difference between the 36 and the 38 is I put 2,000 in appropriation, so I wouldn't have to come back if there's a little bit over it, and it'll stay, it'll just stay in the fund if we don't use it.
Oh, we got two.
Doobie.
Do we?
You want to sponsor the legislation?
Would you like to sponsor it?
Yes.
Alright.
We're equal opportunities.
Okay. First reading of ordinance number 2020-51, an ordinance by the Council of Wellston, Ohio to purchase one Ford F-350 truck through cooperative purchasing for an amount not to exceed $54,000.
Any questions?
Sponsor that one too?
I love it when everyone
Now we're
gets
getting
along.
greedy. We've created a monster. Yes, we have.
First reading of resolution number 2020-52, a resolution authorizing the mayor to finalize a negotiated disposition of a civil legal matter with John Brown and Kathy Alcorn and approving said agreement.
So is there an emergency on that?
Apparently not. No, this is a deal that was negotiated by our law director to take possession of the post office cafe and then the lot, and then the lot that we just demolished down on South Pennsylvania Avenue in exchange for dropping charges against them. They are giving the city those pieces of property. So.
Any
This-
questions on that, guys, for the law director?
This doesn't need to be an emergency, does it?
Honestly, it's just, the quicker we do it, the quicker it's over, but not really.
You don't need a special meeting?
Yeah, we don't have charges right this second. I guess I'll clarify that. Just it's the lawsuit that we brought against it.
Okay, so it can wait till the next meeting?
They can.
Okay.
Rick Williams, sponsor.
Responsible.
Mayor,
Yes, my turn.
it's your turn.
That's the comedy show over my love. Okay, one, thank you for approving the appropriations, or at least getting the reading and being acceptable to you. My list, I will be putting together a new tree commission for the city. We had if anyone paid attention to Facebook and the news media, we had a fairly large tree fall by the Catholic Church on Sunday, and it crushed one car and damaged two others, and if someone had been driving down the street, would probably had caused serious injury. We have a tree problem in town. I'm working with the service director to try to address it. We're also looking at trees in the downtown area and how to mitigate some of the sidewalk damage that those things are causing. I think the appropriate way to do that is go through a tree commission. That's what I think that's what it's called for. And far be it for me to go outside the boundaries of the rules. So if anyone that's listening on Facebook wants to be a part of that commission, please contact me at the mayor's office. Infrastructure, the sewer project at the intersection of 10th and New York will begin in November. It'll take about 2 weeks, and what that will do is straighten up some of the storm and sanitary sewer issues we have that comes down. It's a bottleneck where it comes from the football field and it comes down New York Avenue. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of the project. That'll be the CDBG grant we got from the commissioners last year. It was around $287,000, I believe. Once that's complete, we will start working on a grant for New York Avenue to go from First Street all the way down to connect to the 10th Street intersection with water lines, sewer lines, and sanitary sewer lines. We have a lot of mitigation problems. So the last statistics I had, we treated 49 million gallons of water. We sold 40 million gallons, so we lost 9 million gallons. Plus, we are treating more sewage water, more rainwater now than we're supposed to by EPA rules. So we have to start mitigating the stormwater runoff, and this is a big section of town that we have problems with. And it's difficult because there are no maps, or very few maps of what's underneath the city. And so we keep finding things as we go. We did do the micro-monitoring of the storm sewers, and that data is coming back now. The big project that we do have applications in for is the Economic Development Administration grant for a new water tank. And some of you may have seen the post I put on the city's website. We met last week with Stantec, and we kicked it around and came up with the idea that maybe we should relocate that tank to the top of Oak Ridge rather than in that area rather than on Cherryton Hill. And the reason for that is that Oak Ridge only has a 4-inch water line going from approximately Cedar Street on the rest of the way of the hill. So there are, it has no fire rating. We have no fire hydrants up there. And so that will cause a problem. Basically, we're concerned that if there's a house fire, we won't be able to address it. If we put a water tank up there, then it does a couple things. One, it gets our 12-inch lines from the water plant up the hill to that. It gets it out of the swamps that run along the Lake Alma Road. When those lines break, and in the last couple of years I think they've broken twice, the city loses water. So it shuts down the whole city. This will get us 2 new 12-inch lines to that tank. Then they'll bring a 12-inch line down Oak Ridge, connect it close to where Dorothy Reepenopolis, Cedar Street, where the other 12-inch line comes, and then they'll feed it on down to that line feeds the rest of the city. And we'll also replace other lines leading down to General Mills with that particular grant. So General Mills will have a good solid backup in case the south plant goes down, because without water, General Mills doesn't work. And General Mills is deemed a essential business during a pandemic, so that's why the Economic Development Association grant for COVID-19 is, I think we're the only city in the state that even has a chance to get that. So it's a $5.4 million grant, and we have a pretty good shot. So I'm asking anyone that has a business in Wellston to write a letter of support, because the economic part is that you retain jobs or create jobs, and General Mills has already provided their letter. I've got another letter from Sunrush Water today, and I'll be out soliciting letters from all businesses, because people will be out of work to lose water. So that's pretty exciting news, because we've needed that for a long time. Cherryton leaks about 9. We don't know how much Cherryton leaks. They fill it up and it drains out, and we don't know how much that leaks. And any water we waste out of that is water we're treating. It's a waste of taxpayers' money. So that's the big news on infrastructure and grants. COVID relief fund money with community action. They paid $19,000 worth of backwater bills from the dates of March. I think it was March 1st to July 10th. That program's over, because that's when the governor released the states to allow us to start doing shutoffs. But what we did is we did a payment plan for anyone that was in arrears prior to COVID. And we have 64 folks participating in that, which is excellent, and they've already made their first month payment. We did have 2 that fell off the bus, and they were turned off, because we can't continue to cause people that let people live on run up big bills that they'll never be able to pay. So that program is working pretty well. City property we talked about with the post office cafe, and I will have more of an executive session. But, I've asked for an executive session at the end of this, and we'll talk about that too. Any questions for me?
Does the city own property in Oak Ridge to put a tower on, or would they have to acquire it?
Well, we will have to acquire, and it may actually not be in Oak Ridge, it may be on a section beyond Jim Geary, because there's two areas of height that equal what Cherrington has, and that's, you have to have the right elevation, because all of our water's gravity fed. We pump it to it, and then gravity does the rest. And I think those two hills up there are about 12 feet below what Cherrington is, but it's not enough to cause the static water pressure. They have all, they did a hydro study that tells you what your pressure and your static water. It was difficult for them because, again, we don't have all the water lines mapped, and so that's a problem, but it's the same height, same thick limit. So,
What about the property in the far corner of the cemetery? Is that not high enough?
no. No, it's not. We looked at Bundy Cemetery above it, which would be high enough, but that doesn't address the Oak Ridge issue, so we'd still, and that also eliminates the pump station on Oak Ridge, because all your water will be coming down Oak Ridge instead of trying to pump it up. And so.
There's always problems with that.
There's a problem with that, and it'll need replaced, and there are thousands of dollars to replace it. So it solves a lot of the city's problems, and also secures General Mills, which is the county's largest employer. So. Questions? Okay, thank you.
Service director?
Care if I stand up, dude?
No, I don't care, as long as you're talking to a microphone.
I have to use the mic.
You have to get close enough to it this time.
Okay. Thanks again for helping put me in there to this position. It's been a total of 9 days now. A lot to take on in 9 days.
Pull the mic down closer to you. Thank you. Our producer.
Yeah. I've seen a lot in these 9 days. Still looking forward to everything that everybody I've met. I've almost met everybody out in the field. Thing of it is, it starts at the top, and there's no bottom. Everybody works together, and that's what's going to happen. And we've had a lot of cooperation from everybody in the field. Tremendous cooperation. Just for instance, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that everybody doesn't know. Just for instance, like last night, we had some crews out till like 8:30 last night fixing water line up in Broadway. We had another project planned, but that came up, so that's how it works. We've got a lot of things to fix, infrastructure. Charlie is super on working with the funds, the grants, to try to get most of this taken care of. The cemetery, it's coming around. We're just about there, not quite. There's always room for improvement. The tree issue, Charlie addressed. It's happening just about everywhere. In the past 3 years, the way the rainfall's been, the tree foliages have just gotten tremendously heavier, bigger, and that's what's bringing the trees down. The water, all the rainwater continues to rot the older trees out, and that's what happened down in front of Shannon Weber's house. Make me some notes. Troy said, "Good, make notes." The citizens had people coming in. There's issues. Like I said, we're going to get there, but appreciate the cooperation of the public coming in. Everything's written down. We're addressing it. It may not happen the next day. It may not happen in a week, but it will be addressed. We're doing what we can. A tremendous group of employees out there. As far as the trucks Charlie mentioned about, this is one of the keys too. The trucks will all come with what they call a snowplow prep. That means that every truck that we get in this package here will be able to have a snowplow put on it, ready to go. And a snowplow prep, that means the mount's already on the truck, the mount's a snowplow, all the electrical controls and the extra batteries, everything's there. So if we get the big snow that we hope we never get, we've got like, we're probably up to about like seven trucks, maybe 8 that'll be able to handle that. And employees, like I said, we've got really good employees. They really know what they're doing. They've done it for years. I know all of them. So that's where we're at. It's kind of like a team, and it's really going to happen. It's just going to get better. It will get better. And it's not that it's not good now, but we can still go. And that's where we're at. So thank you. And that's about all I have to say. Any questions?
I'm assuming we still have a pretty good salt supply.
Yes, we just got salt in yesterday, and we're really heavy on salt right now.
Okay.
But
We've had some light winters, thank goodness.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And if we have a big one, we're sitting pretty good right
We
now.
good? Okay.
So that was in the process before I got here. But yeah, answer your question. I can't give you an exact tonnage what we did get in, but we're heavy.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a good thing on salt. Anything else? All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that better? Getting better, I'm sure.
Love it.
Todd passed out, Officer Sean passed out the police report. Does anybody have any questions for him? Did you want to say anything?
Just from our last meeting, the reward fund has been started. I gave, our auditor is in charge of it. So the start is there. If anybody wants to contribute more, but there is a reward out for those scoundrels who beat up our policemen. At least at the beginning.
Do we know how
And it
much?
has to be for
How
the,
much is it now, Gary?
well, we're not going to go there.
Oh, okay. You're not putting it out there, how much the
Yep.
reward is?
Don't
Okay,
need to. But there is a reward for the arrest and conviction,
okay.
not just a blank tip, you know.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get money for saying so-and-so did it. I was gonna turn you that. I was thinking the same thing about you, Val, but it was you and I. There were two of us. But anyway, yes, the money's there for it.
Good matters. Just challenge all the
Yeah,
business
we are.
owners to add to it.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Fred said you could challenge business owners to add to it.
Absolutely. Anybody wants to contribute, we appreciate it. The
We
more,
got business owners, we got a lot of attorneys in town, a lot of truck drivers.
You might put that out there.
I'll put that on Facebook. I'll put it on our webpage.
Okay.
But we want them bad.
Because I don't think I've seen anything that there is a reward
It
on
was it was
Facebook.
But yeah, he had a front page
It was in
article.
Yeah, on the paper, but I'm saying on Facebook, I'm not sure if there was anything.
No.
A lot more people read Facebook than they do the paper. right?
Gee, thanks, Colin.
I'm sorry, but they do.
Slammed you.
Wow. How's that make you feel?
We still have a newspaper?
It is what it is. Okay, does anyone else have anything for the, before we go into executive session?
Skip some stuff.
You have to approve some
Oh.
other stuff.
That's not on mine. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, auditor.
Thank you. I need my appropriations and statement of cash position approved, please. Everyone has a copy, I believe.
Motion to approve.
Second by Woolman.
Okay, McWilliams,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
Woolen,
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Thank you. We are working on another grant for his fire packs. If it all comes through, it will be 100,000 forgivable and an 88,000 loan for 10 years. But it's still in process with USDA, so it's just gonna take a couple, 3 more weeks.
That's good.
But it's coming.
Good.
Okay? That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I guess I skipped you too, Randy. Do you have anything, Law Director?
Yeah, not really. I did, I already told John also that I would, and gave him an amount that I would match on that reward, so I would challenge people to give also, so
Okay.
I think it's very important.
Thank
Okay.
you, Randy.
So have I gotten everything? There's
There's
no,
a
well, we do
there's a
have
treasurer.
treasurer's report.
We do have a treasurer report.
Make a motion to approve it.
Do we have a second?
I will.
Juby,
Yes.
McWilliams,
Yes.
Woolen,
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's it.
We don't have any, do we have city clerk's report this time? Okay. All right, so anything else before we go into executive session?
Woolen will make that motion.
That's all second.
Woolen,
Yes.
Juby,
Yes.
McWilliams,
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.